Hi guys, we've now passed the halfway point of the season with 4 more games to go, and for the past 2 weeks we've been playing Espgaluda. This has been back-to-back shmups from Cave, and this one is the spiritual successor to Espra D and was released in 2003. As I said a couple of weeks ago, you play as Agaha or Tataha, and whilst it has some of the core Cave shmup mechanics, one of the unique features here is the Kakuze Mode, which took me a bit of time to get used to. You accrue green gems when you kill enemies normally, and this allows you then to use the Kakuze Mode to slow down the bullets, but when you're in this mode, if you kill the enemy that fired them, then the bullets disappear, giving you a load of points. Using this mode effectively is one of the keys to getting big scores, and that requires some planning. Unfortunately, I didn't get enough time once again to really learn the game, and in some ways I found it slightly too complex, but my best run came from me clearing the first 2 levels that I'd become reasonably competent at, before just flying by the seat of my pants and getting as far as I could. You get an extra life of 4 million, and I think I picked up another on level 3. That got me to my best score of just shy of 5 million. There were plenty of people scoring much more than that, so let's look at the table. This week has proved pretty popular, and competition at the top is fierce. The game was selected by A. Creighton, and he's back again. We have also had returns from Shmupping Deku PG, who we've not seen for a while, and also Charlie Farr, who played on stream and likes this one more than some other Cave titles. Finally, we have a new player who found a few of my posts on Reddit. That's Trey, who I believe likes a shmup, but I'm hoping we'll back regardless of the genre. So I've received 20 scores this week. I'm down in 12th, with Mike just ahead. 7th to 10th are all very close, with the returning Charlie Farr in 10th, our new player Trey in 9th, and Graham in an uncharacteristic 8th. Bob has done well for 6th, with 8 million, and then My Retro Tech in 5th with nearly 9 million. Our top 4 all separated themselves from the pack. Juff beat his PB by some margin to do 20 million. Our top 3 though are all previously heavily experienced with the game. A. Creighton owns the PCB and has finished in 3rd with a massive 28 million. Shmupping Deku PG is 2nd with an even bigger 32 million. But as no surprise to anyone, it's Pearl who has won with a tremendous 36 million. Great job from Pearl, but he certainly had some competition this week. Here is the score distribution. It's close to, but not really a normal distribution. Our biggest peak is in the middle, with many people around the 6 million point mark. Beyond that though, we have our 2 guys in the 8s, Jaffa on his own, and then our top 3 all in the same bin. This shows how close it was at the top, with great efforts from A. Creighton and Shmupping Deku PG, but it was Pearl taking this week's win. And now the difficulty curve. We can see that from low down, it's a pretty gradual increase in score until you get to our 5th place. There's a couple of small plateaus, but nothing too significant. For our top 4 though, you can see the gradient climb, as each of those are a chunk ahead of everyone. This means the game is likely pretty linear in difficulty, which makes sense, but once you start to get on top of it, you can really press for score, which is the difference between sub 10 million and over 20. And finally the progress over the 2 weeks. First to post a decent score was Juff, who got over 10 million. He then progressed and improved a number of times to his ultimate score of 20 million. Either 10 or 20 million, he still would have been 4th. A. Creighton then soon moved things on, and he improved twice again too. Shmupping Deku PG was then the first to break 30 million, before ultimately it was Pearl taking this week's win, with about 4 days to go. For the first week or so, people were frequently putting scores in. These last few days have been a bit quiet though. We have had a few people still taking part, so it's all good. Regarding the table, we're just past the halfway mark, and things continue to move. There will be a requirement to have played at least 5 games this season to appear in the final table, so people may start dropping out from next time onwards. Mike is up 2 into 18th. Shmupping Deku PG is straight in at 11th with that 2nd place this week. I'm down in 9th, having dropped away from our top 8. A. Creighton and Pearl are our big movers up into 5th and 4th. And then finally, we have a change at the top. Bob is still in 3rd, but it's Big Juffa who has finally got ahead of Graham. They battled it out last season, and once again it's been close. After having back-to-back Cave games, we're on to the letter F. I've received 80 suggestions of games, with none having an overwhelming majority. Flicky and Fixeight got 2 votes each, and Firetrap and Final Fight both got 3. Pearl's choice of the black and white 1978 game Fire Truck is trebled, also giving it 3 slots. So let's set the selector going and see what we get. Here we go, slowing down. What's it going to be? Fire Shark, Fixeight. Okay, looks like it's stopping on Fixeight. So this is a choice from KMA. I think Fixeight is another shmup. Yeah, I think it's a vertical game. I'll go look it up, make a video, and be back in a sec. So this week's game is Fixeight, released by Toaplan in 1992. I was half right when I thought it was a shmup, but it's more of a run and gun. The game is the spiritual successor to the classic Outzone. I played Outzone at Arcade Club and really enjoyed it, so I expect this will be good. It's like Commando on steroids. There are multiple characters and multiple weapons, which is great for depth, but for picking a game up, it can be a bit intimidating. Interestingly, it never received a home port. It must have been thought that 16-bit machines couldn't cut it. Regarding versions, we'll be using the Euro ROM and default settings. For our next game, we're on to the letter G. Surely it's got to be Gallagher. Liam or Noel would be fine. Gauntlet, Ghosts and Goblins, Gigawing, Golden Axe, Gradius, Gunbird, Gyrus. There's just so many bangers beginning with G. Just please don't choose Gorf. I'll run the selector again if it comes up. So it's another slightly more modern game with Fixeight. I hope you all enjoy playing, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with the next one. See you then.